The 2015 Environmental Stewardship Award winners, the Maggie Creek Ranch. And now, let's take a closer look of their environmental efforts.
In the sagebrush country of northeast Nevada, the cowboy crew is gathering cattle on Maggie Creek Ranch. They're roping and branding calves on this ranch that was founded more than 100 years ago and was purchased by the Bill and Sally Searle family in 1975.
Such a personal thing for us, with my grandfather being gone, he really lives on through environmental stewardship and that heritage that he passed to us.
I think we've got, without a question, the best crew. Every branch will tell you that, but we really do. And the nice thing about it, we try to get couples, and then their kids have grown, a lot of the kids have grown up here. But they're just a wonderful bunch. They ride for the brand, and they work very, very hard to make this what it is.
Really fortunate that I've got to raise a family here, and we've got a great place where my children can enjoy what I do and learn about what I do and learn about ranching. And Searle family has embraced that and looks forward to the upcoming generations working on the ranch.
John Griggs leads a dedicated team of employees who live, work, and raise families on Maggie Creek Ranch. They manage extensive irrigation and run their beef cow herd and stocker cattle on 200,000 acres. About 2/3 of the ranch land is owned, and 1/3 is permitted grazing on public lands.
We grow forage for our cattle and for the wildlife that we share the range with, 2 or 3 months out of the year. And then we have to bank that grass for the rest of the year. So it's a challenge to graze here. We have to move early and often in the spring, so that our goal is to have every plant reach seed head maturity. And we don't get there every year, but that's what we strive for. And so to do that, we have to move our cattle a lot in the spring.
Although unusual spring rains have made the ranch green now, drought and wildfires are a constant threat. So the Maggie Creek Ranch team works with neighbors and local fire managers to aggressively respond to any wildfire.
Maggie Creek Ranch and our other neighbors, we're part of the volunteer fire department in the area, and we have an Elko County Fire District brush truck on the ranch, and we respond to those small fires as initial attack, and we're trained as wildland firefighters, and we're proud to be out there with the professionals trying to do our part to keep fires small.
To help the land recover from fire, the ranch team reseeds rangeland with grasses and forbs. Work to improve the watersheds on the ranch is another major accomplishment. The cattle on Maggie Creek Ranch have been fenced out of riparian areas.
With the changes that Maggie Creek Ranch has implemented in just their grazing practices, managing riparian areas as pastures instead of just all hot season grazing, we've seen vegetation come back, we're seeing stream banks stabilize, and that's all really good for the fish and wildlife that rely on those areas.
And the really neat thing about working with John Griggs, I forget sometimes that we're even on private land, and we just sort of blurred the lines. I think we just have had a common vision of the watershed and what the land should look like, and sort of never mind the land boundaries and just get to work on the watershed.
John has spent years building trust and working with a variety of partners to improve habitat for wildlife, including threatened and endangered species. One result is the installation of irrigation diversions and a fish passage to protect the Lahontan cutthroat trout.
That's on the actual Maggie Creek, and that stream is habitat for Lahontan cutthroat trout, so it's important that they're able to move up and down the creek. So I'm proud of the fact that we were able to put in, collaborate with partners, put in a structure that worked well for us, but worked for all of us.
I think the message that they have that's really worth sharing is that you can have all these values on the landscape. You can have fisheries habitat and wildlife habitat. You can have really a healthy ecosystem, and you can have a real sustainable ranching industry too.
Beyond stewardship of the land, the ranch and the Searle family have also connected with consumers to share the story of ranching and raising quality beef.
Social media has been really integral to trying to put ourselves out there and say, we're people, we're beef ranchers, we're cattle raisers, and We live in this rural place. It can be really difficult, but to be able to communicate that maybe to someone who would otherwise have no idea where their food comes from and the love that goes into it, I think is really important.
Whether it's managing forage, fostering partnerships, or telling their story, the Maggie Creek Ranch team is working every day to ensure this land is preserved now and in the future.
I think what we've started here should be continued on. Stewards of the land.
When you're talking about cattle, you're talking about a love of land. And when you're talking about my family, you're talking about a love of land. It's a total, complete circle of family and land and cattle and work, hard work and rough places but beautiful places. And so I love it all. You can't pick a favorite.
Really happy about how the rangeland health's coming along, how our riparian values are improving, and all that improves the value of the ranch as an asset and improves the value of the ranch as we, the people that live here, enjoy it. And I'm really proud of that fact.
Want to see all the Environmental Stewardship Regional Award winners? Check out their stories on our website. That's cattlemen@cattlemen.org.